Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome in. It is a brand new week, Monday here with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. So glad you are with us. Hope you had a great weekend as we're getting closer to Christmas, which is what, a little over a week away. And
10 days.
Barry, the bowl season has started.
It has begun. The regular season officially over with Navy's resounding win over Army on Saturday. That already has knocked a few people out of our Dreamland pick 3. There's also
It was a tough one, yeah. If you were an Army supporter, there's no doubt about that. That's how, when you put it that way, the regular season is over.
It's over. It seems like we just started, and I've said this before. You wait and you wait and you wait. And people like John, who are known for their patience and forbearance, it's let's go. Come on. And then by the time it's here, it just zips right through.
It really does. And Barry, I know the schedule's up until 2032. So, I know what's coming, but it just takes a while for it to get here. And, man, regular season over. The bowl season has started. It got kicked off here in Montgomery with the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Great game there at Crampton Bowl. Didn't get to go to the game. I was busy with some other stuff this weekend, but I did happen to see the Western Michigan team on Saturday morning coming through the Renaissance Hotel and going to a team breakfast, a couple of team meetings. Wanted to kind of see if I could sneak in there, Barry, just to kind of act like I belonged. Maybe get some scrambled eggs, a biscuit, some bacon, and pick up some tidbits on the game for later that night.
John has had a history of doing that with teams from the state of Michigan. Yeah, it just wasn't in the cards that day. Yes, South Alabama wins it 30-23. I got a chance to watch the parade, the Christmas parade. Western Michigan is the Broncos.
Yeah,
they've got this mascot. I want to say his name is Rusty. Kind of like the character from European Vacation or National Lampoon's Vacation. Rusty, big old horse head. That's creepy. Now that I got a Godfather flashback on that one there. Not.
Then, if I'm not mistaken, Barry, because I did notice this, South was like a 10-point favorite. The game went off at 6. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I saw Western Michigan earlier today. Nothing really jumped off the page. I didn't see anything that said, whoa, got to take the Broncos. But understand South was out without their quarterback, a couple of other key players, still able to win the game and cover the spread.
They win by 7.
Yeah.
How do they know? How do they know? The South had a backup quarterback named Davenport, who I'd never heard of before. I don't know why any of that happened. I have to ask my buddy JT Crabtree down there.
Yeah, Barry I know Montgomery's a happening town, and I don't consider it like New Orleans, but I guess maybe you can find some trouble if you're looking for it.
Yeah, maybe so. This is when Theotis normally chats in about it. But the bowl season is underway, and the college basketball season is in full swing. In case you didn't notice, and if you didn't, shame on you, Auburn, Alabama, Troy, all won. Auburn beat the absolute dog snot out of Ohio State. They win that one by 38.
Whoa.
91-53. I was listening to Andy, and the new Sonny, his name is Randall, does a good job. And it was never close. But by the time I started listening in, it was 17-4. Auburn, and it never really Ohio State cut it down to like 9 or something like that, but then Auburn just blew them out. And then Alabama, big win at home over Creighton. Somebody clip this video right here so we can play it back later and show Robbie when he wakes up at 8:15 and says, hey, you need to talk about the Alabama win over. We're talking about it. The Crimson Tide very strong over a good, not great, a good Creighton club, who is trying to make it close at the end. It
Oh,
really
yeah.
close as
Yeah. Got a good big man.
Mark Sears back on the beam. He scored.
Yeah, boy.
And the Alabama fans like him again and don't think he needs to be put on the bench for
Barry, is there another team in college basketball that has a bluer uniform than Creighton?
That's blue now. That is definitely blue.
I mean, could they mix in a little white, maybe like the shorts or something? But I mean, the whole thing's blue. That was what really caught my eye. I'm thinking, man, I don't think I've ever seen Alabama play a team that's got uniforms that blue before.
So Auburn wins big over Ohio State. Auburn back in action tomorrow night at Neville Arena against Georgia State. Alabama is back in action on Wednesday. They play at North Dakota. They are on Wednesday night. They are in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and I can't think of a single reason why.
Well, I think now don't hold me to this. Isn't the Stash from North Dakota? Did he not Did he transfer from North Dakota?
He's talking about Grant Nelson.
Isn't that what everybody calls him?
He's from either North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Nobody knows. But yeah, he's from up around there.
Yeah.
Well, why would you do that?
I mean, hey, you got to play a game. Let's go play North Dakota. Why not? Heck, what the heck?
At their spot, yeah. But
is that like a gym? I mean, do they actually have a coliseum or an arena?
I want to say that Auburn played there. I get them mixed up. I know they're always in the FCS playoffs. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota. One of them's named the Jackrabbits. One of them's named the Bisons. And one of them used to be named the Sioux, but you can't have Indian names anymore. So, I mean, they're Native American names anymore. So that's all I know. I can never tell you. I know Carson Wentz is from one of them. Grant Nelson is from one of them, but honestly, it's all the same.
I guess I could Google it, but I have no clue where North Dakota State, what city it's located in.
Well, it's North Dakota, and I guess it's in Grand Forks. I don't know, but
those are two states I've never set foot in.
I've set foot in South Dakota. I drove there one time just to go. We were in Omaha. Remember that time when I first started with you and I went to the College World Series?
30
had
years
a day
ago.
off one day, so I drove about 2 hours, and I drove to Elk Point, South Dakota, stopped in the post office and got a postcard to prove to somebody that I was there and mailed it and then came back. That's it. That's all for me.
Where else would you go? Yeah. What else is there?
Well, also, but the Auburn win, the resounding Auburn win over Ohio State. I mean, Ohio.
Are they any good? Is Ohio State any good? I mean, hearing this
resounding 6-4 now.
Blowout. I'm thinking, are they really? Are they any? I mean, my brother, I tell you what kind of game it was. My brother-in-law went to the game and took his two kids, and they're both under 6 years old. I mean, you don't take 6-year-old kids and under to a game that's big.
Well, not just that. I mean, maybe they mixed in a trip to the aquarium or something like that. I don't know. But that win, unfortunately, might have been dwarfed, might have been overshadowed by Auburn's news in the transfer portal in football. They are killing it
really
in the transfer portal. 5-star quarterback Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma. First time in history, for those of you who go over this thing, who love this stuff, first time ever in Auburn history that they will have had 2 5-star quarterbacks on the roster at the same time.
Really?
Deuce Knight, the incoming freshman from Mississippi, and Jackson Arnold. Also
is this the same Jackson Arnold that was beat out by a freshman early in the season this year?
I laid out for a moment. I paused for a second because I wanted to give John ample time. I knew that was coming. Might as well get it out of the way early.
Is this the same Jackson Arnold that if you stack up every quarterback in the SEC, his QBR rating has him at 14 out of 16 teams?
My salute to the Longshore Support Group. You guys have been busy. Very nicely done, guys.
I got that one on Friday. I think I got that one real early.
Very nice.
Wait a minute. I'm a big QBR guy. And I'm thinking, this guy's 14 out of 6. Now, we'll say this. The QBR all started years ago with a guy that's tearing it up in the NFL today, but that rating was like 80 when he was at Auburn, and he ended up in Oregon where it was like 8 out of all the quarterbacks in the US of A. So
yeah, there you
maybe
go.
this move by Jackson Arnold will move that QBR rating ahead of let me roll off some of these that are
Here we go. This is what I was waiting for. You know some of them are nervous when they say, well, his QBR rating.
Yeah.
Well, when Barry asks me what in the world a QBR rating is, what do I tell him? It doesn't matter. I'm not looking it up. Just use QBR rating.
I mean, Peyton Thorne had a better QBR rating than this guy. I mean, what?
Man, the text group, John, you guys did your work. Very nicely done. Hey,
you got to help
me. This is another one. This is another one here. Hey, when Barry mentions that this kid ran for about $140 to beat Alabama, here's what you say. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mention that because I'm not going to give John more artillery because I know that this text group has furnished him with a response.
Well, you know, Barry, Auburn's coach actually beat Alabama twice as a head coach at another SEC school. Don't forget about that.
That's true.
So you're going to have to help me here. I don't know these kids' first names. The kid at Kentucky, Vandergriff, I don't know what his first name is, but he's one spot ahead.
His name is Brock. Now, if you're going to sit there and use QBR rating that you've been furnished, you got to at least, guys, give him the first names of some of these
Van Buren
SEC
Jr.
quarterbacks.
At Mississippi State?
Yeah, Michael Van Buren.
Michael Van Buren.
Who transferred out, by the way.
Then you got Peyton Thorne. Then you got, was it Trent Green at Mississippi State? No, Arkansas. What's Tavis Green? What's that kid's name? I mean, look, that's what I'm saying.
His name is Palin Green.
You can, yeah. And it goes up a few others. I'm not, but anyway, 14 out of 16 teams. He's got nowhere to go but up. And he gets that coaching from Hugh Freeze and that RPO offense. Watch out.
I'm telling you guys,
big time.
You guys, this is good work from you. This is expected. I knew it was going to. Hey, John, I don't know if you know, but the Aubs got a commitment from a transfer guy with SEC experience, a former 5-star. Here's what you say. Love it. That's well done.
If Alabama would have gone to Norman and won the game, would it have been as exciting? I don't know. I'm just asking. I mean, certainly Oklahoma and Jackson Arnold's performance against the Crimson Tide a month ago doesn't make them feel better. I know that's not a factor in this equation of Arnold coming to take over the quarterback position at Auburn. While 3 on the current roster have already jumped ship, that we're out of here. Gee, I can't get out of here quick enough. But I mean, you know, a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle, it's always good from time to time.
And John, when Barry doesn't bring up the fact that Jackson Arnold ran for $140 to beat Alabama, go ahead and act like he did. We'll get that out there. Yeah, go ahead and like he did. Yeah.
As we said, I said, probably the most pathetic performance by an Alabama football team I've witnessed in over 25 years. I mean, pathetic.
Yeah.
Not only the defense, but the offense wasn't much better either. In that game, only being able to muster 3 points against the Sooners. So, hey, whoa, congratulations. Woo, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now you just got to coach them when you get them.
That's right. That's exactly right. They maybe have, I know the questions are, quarterback, fine. What about a left tackle? They may have had, I don't know anything at all about Darrell Robinson, a running back out of UConn. Experienced guy, former 3-star. He's committed to Auburn as well. Some of the other ones, Xavier Chaplin, that offensive tackle. We'll see. We'll see. There's still plenty of time.
So, yes, very excited about the bowl season because it's here. And, of course, so many people taking advantage and getting in on the Long Short McKnight Bowl Prediction Contest. You went to yellowhammernews.com and you saw the icon. You clicked it and you filled out the information that we asked for. And, man, we're very, very happy about all the participation. Somebody's walking away with a $1,000 travel voucher from the Montgomery Regional Airport. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be tracking it throughout the bowl season. There again, kind of makes the bowl season A little bit more exciting, a little extra juice in it, knowing that you got some skin in the game with the bold prediction contest. So really appreciate everybody getting in on that. Later today, at the top of the next hour, our man Tom Luginbill, who was in Montgomery over the weekend. He was part of the broadcast crew for ESPN for the Salute to Veterans Bowl. We'll check in with Lugs at the top of the next hour. Your chats coming in on our River Region Straw chat line. Email Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. We got a lot to get to today. I think we've already touched on some of the Victoryland 777 topic wheel topics today, but we can certainly bring them back up again. I have no problem with that.
If we haven't, a lot of people on our River Region Straw chat line have. We got to catch up with you, man. There's been a lot of people waiting for us, John.
Yeah,
we're here. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, folks, you got to take advantage of the incredible holiday savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where they sell America's best-selling truck for 50 years in a row, the F-150. And you can get an F-150 at 1.9% APR for 60 months or up to $15,000 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days. Hundreds to choose from. Your F-150 is on the lot right now. Also, F-150 Lightnings, $15,000 off MSRP and 0% APR for 72 months. What about the stylish Ford Bronco? Up to $10,000 off MSRP, starting as low as $34,990. And it started it all with the Ford Explorer. You can get one for up to $8,000 off MSRP, as low as $33,900 and 1.9% APR for 66 months. Folks, Stivers Ford is loaded with cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to sell. Stivers Ford, 4000 Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders. Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the River region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the River region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
All right, here we are back at it, about 17 minutes past the hour on this Monday. Bowl season well underway. So is the NFL. Caught a little bit of that over the weekend. We got double header Monday night action tonight. Staggered a little bit, 7 o'clock kick early, then a 7:30 kick. Man, I wish they do this every week.
Doesn't make sense, though. They're kind of cannibalizing themselves. You got Bears, Vikings.
Yeah.
Bears are terrible. Vikings are really good, and it's in Minnesota. The Vikings favored by 7. It's on ABC tonight at 7 o'clock. And then who thought Falcons Raiders was a good idea in mid-December?
Yeah, don't they have a flex schedule? Like if these teams suck, they can just put somebody else in? I thought that's what they did in the NFL.
The Raiders are 2-11. This is out in Vegas.
Yeah.
7:30 on ESPN. So, they're...
Well, my suggestion, you got to go dual screen, catch the first 30 minutes of the Bear Viking game and then put on the Falcon Raider at 7:30, get them on the dual screen. Can't go wrong. I love a dual screen. You know me. Love a quad. If I can get a quad screen, I'm all over that. And I get it. Some people don't like it. I've heard other people tell me, I know you're not a big split screen guy. I've had other people tell me, can't do it. Just can't do it. I love it.
Yep. Also yesterday in the NFL, I watched a good bit of this one last night where the Buffalo Bills got out to a big lead over the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Lions had an 11-game winning streak, had a mad comeback, crazy comeback, but the Bills win it by 6. They cover the 2.5. It was 48-42 final that one. I don't know how much faith John had if going into the weekend he's saying, oh boy, Jake Haener. Oh boy, Jake Haener, you watch. Man, the Saints are really going to take off now. I think Jake Haener was like 3 for 10 passing for the Saints over the weekend.
I got to Google that guy.
Brought in, I know he's from Fresno State.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't tell you anything about him. Then they brought in Spencer Rattler. No. Yeah. Commanders win it 20-19. 20-19. And the only reason why that was close is the Saints had a late comeback there. So that's the NFL. That's
scored 12 points in the fourth quarter after being blanked in the first half. Didn't score a point in the first half.
Yeah.
I guess that's when they put Spencer Rattler in the game. I see the Jags didn't win. They got beat by 4-10 Jets team. Mac Jones, 31 out of 46. Almost 300 yards passing, 2 TDs.
And a couple of interceptions, too. Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it.
I like Bo Nix yesterday. He had 3 interceptions, I believe. Man.
Not his day yesterday. But then again, his QBR rating, John's been suspicious of that for the 6 or 7 years he was in college. So, there is that. No more bowl games until tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 8, it's the Frisco Bowl. Memphis is 10-2. They take on West Virginia at 6-6. West Virginia no longer has Neil Brown. Rich Rodriguez is the coach, but he's not really the coach. They've got an interim guy. Get used to that. West Virginia, a lot of transfers out. Tomorrow, same thing. Western Kentucky. I'm sorry. The next day. Tomorrow's the Memphis West Virginia game. The next day, Western Kentucky and James Madison. WKU. Don't worry about the fact that TJ Finley's already transferred out, looking for his 5th school in 7 years. But
is that a record? Does TJ Finley hold the record for the number of schools he's played for?
I don't know who keeps track of that stuff, but it's got to be close. It's gotten to the point, and you're going to see that with everybody. Point of order on our big bowl prediction contest.
Yep.
We're going to give you the Independence Bowl because many of you have already picked, and maybe you picked Marshall in the Independence Bowl against Army. Army did not look good in losing to Navy over the weekend. Marshall was the Sun Belt champion, but here's the deal. Marshall, champion of the Sun Belt Conference, great year led by former Saban assistant Charles Huff. The day after they won the championship, the Sun Belt Championship, Huff was announced as the new head coach at Southern Miss, and a bajillion guys hit the transfer portal, including the quarterback, including a couple of offensive linemen, half their defense and everything. Marshall came out and said, look, we don't have enough players to field a team. We're going to have to opt out of the whole bowl game. This is not one guy opting out or 2 guys. This is a whole team opting out. So they subbed in Louisiana Tech, who's 5-7, but they had a really good academic progress rate. So they get to go in. Plus, you don't have to pay anything extra for them because it's only about, 40 miles away from Shreveport. So you're going to see that. Now, here's my belief. And so I got some good friends at Marshall, play-by-play guys, an old Gator named Steve Cotton. Marshall could have played that game. They got 30 opt-outs, 30 transfers, opt-outs, whatever. Coaching staff, whole deal. You got 85 on scholarship, right? You could have put a team out there. You got 63 players on scholarship in FCS. What the difficulty was putting a good team out there. 3rd-team quarterback, a couple of walk-ons at wide receiver, a 4th-string punter, whatever.
I mean, why not give those guys an opportunity to play? They don't get to play much, I wouldn't think. Give them the chance to play and represent Marshall. And, if they get beat by 4 touchdowns, so be it. And I'm with you. I mean, you got 85, you got plenty of people to field, 11 on offense and 11 on defense. I don't think that's the problem. Maybe, I don't know, they thought some of these kids would get hurt. Who knows? Yeah, I think you are going to see more of that type stuff. Unfortunately, that's a massive number of opt-outs. I guess it does kind of disrupt things a little bit. My question, though, Barry, why would you leave Marshall to go to Southern Miss? I don't get that move. Southern Miss is terrible, and they've been
And
terrible
Marshall
for as
won
long
the
as I can
league.
remember. I don't get that move.
I guess, maybe. I do know this. When he was named, again, Marshall wins the Sun Belt Championship on a Saturday. Charles Huff is announced as the head coach the next morning at Southern Miss. And that afternoon, Marshall announces their new head coach, a guy named Tony Gibson. So none of this was a surprise, right? Everybody knew this was going to happen. And it had to be money. Either that or Marshall wasn't going to pay him the money he thought he was deserving of, or wasn't going to commit money to the football program like he thought they should to continue to be successful. And he decided to pull up stakes. He maybe bluffed them ahead of time, and they said, no, you go ahead. And he did. So, yeah, Southern Miss, they've had a good history. They've had a little bit of bad luck in selecting coaches lately, but it could be and has been a lot better than it is. We'll see. But yeah. You're going to start seeing this where schools, again, that could put a team out there, just not going to do it. Just not. And this will hurt Marshall in the future. It really will. The bowl commissioner, the whatever it is, the bowl season committee or whatever, he was not real happy with Marshall about
I can imagine
that
he was not. I did see that over the weekend. That did kind of surprise me. I'm a little surprised Memphis is playing in a bowl game so soon. I mean, they got a pretty good record to be playing a game on December the 17th.
Yep.
In West Virginia, they're trying to get everything back together. Where's Neil Brown going to land?
I don't know. I know he's got a big buyout. I know they're paying him a ton of money, so he doesn't have to panic. So maybe he just sits out a year, watches the lay of the land. I thought that probably the best fit would be Appalachian State, but maybe he's just kind of sitting back and watching, seeing what happens maybe next year. Yeah, Memphis. Troy played at Memphis in week 2, and they're really good. Their quarterback's been a 5-year starter, Seth Hennigan. They're 10-2. Memphis is 10-2, number 25 in the country. But I'm kind of with you. Why the Frisco Bowl for a ranked 10-2 team? That I don't know.
Yeah, that seems a little, and then we're really going to get into the nitty gritty. I mean, I know we got some of these bowls, Ohio, Jacksonville State. Yeah, I know I get it. Coastal, UTSA, Northern Illinois, Fresno. But this Friday night, Indiana, Notre Dame, it will kick off the expanded 12-team college football playoff with a Friday night primetime game. The Hoosiers and the Irish from South Bend. Notre Dame about a 7.5-point favorite there. And then on Saturday, it is a triple header of playoff games. SMU at Penn State. I love saying SMU.
I know you do, and I don't know why. Yeah.
Clemson at Texas and Tennessee at Ohio State. I think that might be the best of the day. I tell you, Tennessee catching 7. I don't know. I kind of like that.
That is going to be the ABC game. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe from Ohio State. Ohio State is an 8 seed. They dropped like a shot after just looking listless against Michigan. So it's not technically an upset. I mean, maybe technically it is. But I got Tennessee winning that game in Columbus. And, maybe it's a number 9 seed beating an 8. I don't think it'll be that much of an upset there. But we get started this weekend. The college football playoff begins. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be terrific.
It is. I'm looking forward to it. I know Bama fans still kind of smarting a little bit that their team is not a part of this 12-team playoff. And I know they're excited, getting ready to take on Michigan in a rematch. Looking back, I saw an article about Alabama has had a history of rematches in the past. They played Nebraska in back-to-back years, Notre Dame in back-to-back years, Clemson in back-to-back years in bowl games, and they'll be playing Michigan in back-to-back years with the
Well,
ReliaQuest Bowl on New Year's Eve.
will Justice Haynes play in that game?
I don't think so.
I
There
think that-
again,
yeah.
who told you that 2 months ago? Alabama's running game is non-existent. And if I was a running, let me see if I can remember exactly how I said this. Look for Alabama to have running backs in the portal quickly. Quickly. I mean, why would you not? They don't have a running game in Tuscaloosa. So that one does not surprise me. I think I'm more surprised there's not others following him.
Well, there
in that,
are
in that position room.
Oh, in that position room. Alabama, if you look at it, last year they got dinged pretty good in the portal because, they had a little extra window when Saban left, retired. This year, I think it's a little bit like, getting, I hate to say it this way, but clearing out the ashes in the fireplace,
Yeah.
Losing Justice Haynes is significant, but not unexpected. Yeah. Remember, he's a Georgia legacy. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other guys, I don't
mean,
know that it's not addition by subtraction.
To tell you, I mean, I don't want to be so harsh and critical, Barry, but based on what I saw out of that group this fall, they can all hit the portal. None of them impressed me. Yeah, all I heard all summer was, boy, this Alabama running back room is deep and it is talented. Maybe so. Maybe the offensive line's not opening up any holes for them. I don't know. Maybe Bob from Pike Road can tell me. I mean, is the offensive line the problem in Tuscaloosa, or is it the running backs? Because I have not been impressed all season long. Alabama's running game, non-existent. There again, don't want to sound like a broken record. After they played Michigan last year, I came back and said, folks, this team cannot win the national championship with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. That was proven true. Why? Because the playbook is not expanded. They are not diverse enough on offense. Everybody knows what's coming. And when they do throw the ball, they throw it to one guy. That's why you saw some other guys in that position group heading to the transfer portal. Heck, I'm out of here. They ain't throwing the ball to me.
Justice Haynes in the portal. Dylan Lonergan in the portal. Braylon Chapman.
Who?
Miles McVay.
See, that's where I'm getting here.
Naquil Bertrand.
Are they really losing? I mean, obviously the first two you reeled off, Barry, everybody's familiar with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other ones, I mean, I'm seeing this pop up on my phone, and I'm going, who? Who's that guy? Yeah. Never heard of him. So, I don't know, really, it's kind of one of those coaches going, don't leave, please. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I hear Vanderbilt needs a tight end.
Hey, there you go.
So, well.
Show your gold. I'm in. Yeah,
well,
but
yep.
And there, Barry, why does this take so long? I mean, don't you know if you're going to hit the portal? Do you need a month?
No, see, some of those guys have agencies and all that, and those agents have been hearing, like Jaheim Otis, from back in like October, and they kind of, you telling me, you guarantee me that if I hit the portal, that this team's going to get me, right? Oh, yeah, go ahead and jump in. But there's a lot of other guys who just, man, I am not playing here. Whew, I'm third string, and I got no chance of I got to play somewhere. Guys are jumping in, and they really just don't know.
Maybe Bob has answered my question on our River Region Straw text hotline. He says Jam Miller is a NFL running back. That leads me to believe the offensive line's not opening up enough holes for him. Because I saw Jam Miller get jammed at the line of scrimmage more than I saw him busting one for 30 and moving the sticks. He had his moments, but he did not have enough. And you look at the Auburn game. And we talked about it after the Iron Bowl. And they're trying to run the ball between the tackles. And I'm thinking, how long is it going to take for Nick Sheridan to figure out we don't need to call this play anymore? It's not working.
When we come back, we'll take some more chats. We've got the Quincy's 777 wheel locked and loaded, believe me, from over the weekend.
Unfortunately, I think we've already hit on a few of those topics. But as I said earlier, don't have a problem bringing them up again.
That's true. We will do it as DeLongshore and McKnight continues, presented by Bud Light.
Welcome to the holidays. They're officially here. Time for tradition, family gatherings, meals, and the annual scramble of searching for those last-minute gifts. Speaking of gifts, this season Budweiser's got your back. Head to the store right now and look for our specials. Why go all over town looking for that perfect gift when Budweiser takes care of everyone in one convenient ice-cold package? When you stock up on Budweiser with our specials, you'll have plenty to share with your friends and family. They'll all appreciate that Budweiser's brewed the hard way and has been for 140 years. We use the finest barley, malt, and hops grown in Idaho and Germany. We don't take any shortcuts when we're brewing. That's our tradition. So make the most of your holidays. Stop by your local store now for our specials. Grab enough Budweiser for yourself, your friends, and your family. It's a new holiday tradition everyone can enjoy together. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud.
Book tee time sooner. Save on every round. That's what you get with the 2025 RTJ Trail Card. Destination golf is closer than you might think. Buy a 2025 Trail Card and save every time you play. Plus, you will be automatically entered into the Trails Loyalty Program. Enjoy 10-day advance reservation privileges at each location. 11-day advanced internet tee times on rtjgolf.com and the RTJ app. Enjoy the benefits of a 2025 Trail Card. It makes for a great stocking stuffer, and you save on every round you play in 2025 on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
You know all about the 12 Days of Christmas, but what about the 12 Days of Dixie? We're giving away 12 of this year's hottest holiday gifts. Just go to facebook.com/Dixie Electric Plumbing Air and comment on the daily prize post using the hashtag 12 Days of Dixie, and you're automatically entered to win. The winner's name is posted on Facebook the following day with the opportunity to enter daily. The 12 Days of Dixie is going on right now.
Okay, we got about 22 minutes to the top of the hour. Been talking about some of the bowl games that are coming up. We kicked it off here in Montgomery on Saturday night with the Salute to Veterans Bowl, South Alabama beating Western Michigan. Bama fans, if you're interested in heading down to Tampa for Alabama's bowl game against Michigan on New Year's Eve, Total Sports Travel has you hooked up for the Tide and the Wolverines, and it should be a lot of fun at the Westin Tampa Waterside. They got you checking in on Monday the 30th, checking out on New Year's Day the 1st. They got round-trip transportation from the hotel to Raymond James Stadium and back. They've also got ticket opportunities. If you need tickets to the game, Total Sports Travel can help you out with tickets as well. The best thing to do is just go to TotalSportsTravel.com. That's TotalSportsTravel.com. Click the Alabama tab, and you'll have the ReliaQuest Bowl information there right in front of you. You can book your package online on their website or dial them up at 877-371-0144. That's 877-371-0144. Ring in the new year in Tampa with the Tide and the Wolverines at the ReliaQuest Bowl. You know what we say with Total Sports Travel? All you got to do is show up and cheer your team on to victory. They handle everything else.
We have done it before many times. It is the best. If you're a football fan, get wrapped up in the football, not in, oh my gosh, I've got to make sure I get that car rental. Come on, don't do that. Now, this is the stage we're at in the transfer portal. All of the big guys go first. All of the big schools, they hit the smorgasbord first. It's like the fat kids in the cafeteria. Hey, no cutting. Shut up. All the big guys get first, and they get all of the big players, so-and-so transfers from Oklahoma to Auburn, so-and-so transfers from Southern Cal to Texas A&M, and those are the people that are really talented, that have agents and, have maybe been hearing from some of these coaching staffs, maybe a little bit beforehand than they should be and all that. But you also have guys who are transferring out and thinking, man, I cannot wait. I'm going to step up in classification. I've been piddling around down here in the group of 5. Man, I cannot wait until they get a load of me in the Power 4, and they keep calling and saying, anybody yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock.
Mm.
What about Nebraska? You just got one from Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State? What about Southern Cal? And they're going to start all of a sudden, reality is going to start setting in.
Yep.
And then later on in the transfer portal, you'll start seeing the transfers from South Alabama to Coastal Carolina and from Mercer to Northern Illinois and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But right now, the first week or two of the transfer portal are for the big eaters.
Yeah, Big Dog's
in the
going to
lunchroom.
walk
Yeah.
first, I guess.
Yeah.
Tobias out in Arizona. I didn't realize this, Tobias. Says pathetic Milroe stat. Milroe has only thrown 2 touchdown passes since Missouri. Oh, those 2 were against Mercer. People blame Reese last season and want Sheridan gone. Maybe it's on number 4. In my opinion, one reason why the run game struggled is due to Milroe's limitations as a passer. Stack the box and make him win with his arm. Tobias, great point you bring up there. I'll say this. What's a nice way to put it? I don't think I don't think this Alabama coaching staff is going to shed a tear when Jalen Milroe leaves. That's about the nicest way I can put it. I don't think this season went as well as they were hoping or as they had planned. I understand there were some attitude issues throughout the season, particularly the week of the Oklahoma game. So I just don't think there's going to be a lot of unhappiness when number 4 moves on. Not, hey, did a great job, great guy, but they're ready for him to move on.
I can't figure out a couple of things. And in this instance, I'm not tweaking the Alabama fans, although I kind of enjoy that. Number one, I don't think it's going to be probably any tears shed either way. I'm not sure that Milroe feels like he got the love and support he deserved from the Bama faithful necessarily. But you talk about the limitations in the passing game, right? And it's all on number 4. It's not on Sheridan. It's not on Tommy Rees. It's not over Bill O'Brien, any of those guys that are the normal whipping boys for the Bama fan base. This guy last week, Jalen Milroe, won the Campbell Award, the William V. Campbell Award for
who?
Football student scholar athlete.
Is that a soup guy or something?
He won. I mean, if I had to win an award, I'd rather win that over the Heisman. The Campbell Award as the top scholar athlete in all of college football. He's pretty smart, right?
Yeah, I'm going to salute. Awesome.
He's got an arm like a rocket.
Yeah.
Well, what were the limitations in the passing?
Yeah, but that didn't help him out in Norman, Oklahoma. That's great. I'm glad he's got the patch on his jersey. Says SEC graduate. He's in graduate school.
Yep.
Awesome. I mean, I'm very proud of the young man. He's a great representative and a great face for the program. I just think he's limited as a quarterback. Been saying it for over a year. And,
he's smart enough.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a good arm, right?
Sure.
So where's the problem? Limitations in the passing.
I don't know if, he's got a good arm in the sense that he can throw it 60 yards down the field.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure he's as accurate. There again, there were more, but they didn't throw the ball across the middle of the field very often. It was mainly outside routes or deep routes. I don't know why they don't want Milroe to throw it across the middle of the field. And maybe I'm too hung up in that because we saw Tua and Bryce Young and A.J. McCarron and all those guys throwing it across the middle of the field all the time. But, to me, and there again, hey, I know this sounds bad, but he's the third-rated, highest-rated quarterback in Mel Kiper's draft board. I mean, my first thought is there must be some pretty crappy quarterbacks coming into the league this year because if he's number 3, Cam Ward's number 1, I believe. I don't think who would be behind him. Brady Cook, maybe. I'm thinking who in the world is below Jalen Milroe on the draft board.
It is not a great year for quarterbacks. Last year was a really good year. This year, not so much, which is why he needs to probably get while the getting's good. All right, yep. I'll do this. I'm not scared. John brought this up in the first segment. I will fully admit, like John did, I couldn't tell you what goes into QBR rating.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, third down passing efficiency on downs of 7+ yards or whatever it is. Jalen Milroe was second in the SEC in QBR. Number 2 behind only Jackson Dart. Number 2, second best QBR, second most efficient, I guess that's what it means, second most efficient passer in the SEC. I don't know how fair it is to say he'll never win a national championship under Jalen Milroe. It's tough to win a national championship under anybody. That's kind of difficult. If you don't win a national championship, you're a failure. And I don't think he's the best quarterback in the history of ever. But
I mean, let's face
I
it.
do think that he doesn't deserve a lot of the crud he's getting.
I don't know if that's a fair statement. I'm just giving you my critique, my evaluation of what I think about Jalen Milroe. And I said it over a year ago. And Bama fan, as well as I do, they don't want to go to the ReliaQuest Bowl. It's playoff, it's natty or nothing. I mean, look, you can go to Tighter Insider and you can just hang around the coffee shop. Bama fan ain't happy. They don't like seeing other teams in a party they believe they should be at.
12 other teams, 12 of them.
How come we're not on the guest list? So they don't like that. They should be in the playoff, natty.
They themselves as the college football equivalent of Jug Dish, helping themselves to punching cookies over there at the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Totally different. I mean, they are out of their element in a game like this. 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve, really? But anyway, I've just seen better. And I think probably, I got a good feeling.
All right.
That the coaching staff feels the same way. I think they were kind of, look, Kalen DeBoer is going to zip into Tuscaloosa and immediately go, well, the first thing we're doing is benching this guy, number 4, because he doesn't fit our system. We don't think he can win for us, and we're going to bring somebody else in. So there again, you got the whole team in disarray. You got factions that are splitting off and whatnot. So I'm not sold that really DeBoer and this staff didn't have any other hand to play. This was it.
Yeah,
until they can kind of settle in and bring their personnel and their type players, they've got a young man coming in from Texas, a very highly rated quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe that fits their system a little better.
Maybe, just maybe, it's Ty time. Maybe it's Ty Simpson time.
Well, I think a perfect example, Barry, why they didn't put him in Norman, Oklahoma, I thought was a huge mistake. Particularly that half-ass attempt at making a tackle after you threw another interception and the guy runs it back for a touchdown.
Yeah, Luganville said that was a benchable moment right there.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, aren't quarterbacks mad or ticked off if they throw a pick and the guy's showing them up? Don't you want to take quarterbacks don't have opportunities like that. If you've got an opportunity to lay the wood to somebody, you got to go do it. And he just over trying to trip the guy up.
What does this mean from Theotis out in the desert under T. Smitty 3000?
Oh, that's Tobias.
Okay, yeah, Tobias. I said Theotis. Tobias, I knew it was you. Tobias in the desert. He says, Barry, lots of Bama fans, every excuse for Milroe. They've blamed everything from coaching, offensive line, to the green monkey. What the heck is the green monkey?
Is that the one that lives in Chris's closet on Family Guy?
The green monkey.
I've never heard that.
Well, I've heard of the brass monkey.
I've heard of the brass
that
monkey.
Was Beastie Boys.
Yeah, and there was a bar in Tuscaloosa that called the Brass Monkey.
Yeah, Bob from Pike Road said, John, it's a party with Bama's name, the Bama Invitational. Well, they didn't get invited this year. And, they haven't won it since 2010, which, believe me, that ain't no big deal. There's a lot of schools that ain't won a national championship since 2010. But for Bama fans, they're like, what in the blue blazes is going on around here? It's been Is there anybody, oh my gosh, on this Alabama football roster who has even won a national championship? Oh, have we gotten to that point? Oh
man,
my gosh, we've got to do something. That's what Bama fans are thinking.
But our man Dennis Mitchell, someone dubbed him a simple man. I believe there's a song with that same title.
Yeah, the Allman Brothers, right?
Yeah, Dennis says, John and Barry, in my opinion, Alabama needs to put a little pep in their step, get better players for next year. Dennis, you're right. Better players.
Dennis says the solution for the Tide is to get better players.
Unbelievable.
John, you got any? I don't have an issue with that at all. I think he's.
Also, Barry, you grew up in Florida, so I do not know Blackjack Slade.
Yeah, he tag teamed up with Dick Mr. Excitement Slater. Your memories on Blackjack Slade. It's been a long time since I've been a kid, and I used to watch the late, great Gordon Soley do the play-by-play at Florida Championship Wrestling when he had his oxygen tank behind him, and he did the play-by-play with the cannulas up his nose. That one I don't remember, Blackjack Slade. Doesn't mean I didn't see him. Doesn't mean I didn't watch him. Or Dick Mr. Excitement Slater. I just don't remember those guys.
Dennis, but we love the reminiscent about it. So Tobias, we know that Tobias is wagered on some sporting events in his day. This is a good one. I wouldn't have thought about this, Tobias. He says he's made money every week betting on Jameis Winston to throw at least 1+ interception a week. That's got to be the best bet on the board, Tobias.
Well, the thing is, and goodness knows, one of my best friends in the whole world is the most diehard Cleveland Brown fan I've ever seen in my life. And even he was like, when Jameis first came in, when Deshaun Watson got hurt, and he played really well. He threw for like 480 a couple of weeks ago and all that. And, he's thrown for a ton of yards. Winston, and my buddy Gunnar kept saying, it ain't going to last. It ain't going to last. He ain't the answer. Winston threw for $146 against the Chiefs, 16 completions, 3 to the other team, no intercept. No touchdowns, none. That is who he is. After the game one time, he said he needs to pray to God to help him stop throwing interceptions. Well, God is probably telling him, yeah, he's probably helping him saying, Jameis, maybe it's time for the CFL.
Yeah,
maybe it's time for arena football.
I've always wondered about that, Barry. It's kind of like guys that would used to, I don't know if they still do it, before they would return a punt, they'd, point to the sky. And I'm thinking, does God not want the defender to be able to tackle you? He loves that guy too. He wants him to succeed. It ain't all about you running the punt back. What about that gunner coming down the field trying to make the tackle?
And believe me, I'm not making light. I'm a Christian. John's a Christian. We believe in salvation and all that. But it struck me, there was a great tweet one time after Clemson hit that 56-yarder at the Horn to beat SMU and knock Alabama out of the playoff. And afterwards, Dabo said, well, God had a plan for us. He opened up this door. And I fully believe that. I absolutely believe that. But the meme was a picture of this guy from Syracuse going, Syracuse opened the door for you. We had something to do with it as well.
Yeah, how about a little love here? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
Okay. I know Jalen Milroe is going to be a hot topic of discussion. I thought, was it Rodney or Travis when we were talking about this bowl matchup? Kind of just, I don't know, threw an idea out there. Why not just let Milroe play the first half and let Ty Simpson play the second half? Get ready for next year.
Milroe he knows he's going to be a top 3 quarterback taken in the draft. He's got his degree. He's about to get his master's degree. But he's going to come back. He wants to come back and end it the right way. He wants to cement his legacy. Unfortunately, it's not the legacy that I think he deserves from Bama fans. He wants to ride it out with his team when virtually everybody else is saying, see ya.
Yeah,
and so they respond to that by saying, yeah, thanks. Appreciate you being back. yeah, you're gonna
been great.
You're gonna play in the bowl game, huh? Well,
so Barry and
Dalen, I'm just here to tell you, we'll throw you out there in the first half, and afterwards, I don't know, you can take your uniform off, go shower and everything, get an early start on the traffic. Right? That doesn't sound like the way to go for a guy who's giving you the benefit of the doubt, who is showing solidarity.
I don't know. Maybe Bama gets a big enough lead. Who knows? And they finally put Todd Simpson in the game. How about in the "you heard it here first" category? We're not saying this is going to happen or it's in the works or whatnot. But what about Vance on the River Region Straw chat line? This is an interesting theory that Vance has come up with.
Vance says, Kalen DeBoer. He spelled his last name wrong, but I think he meant to. Kalen DeBoer is waiting for the Atlanta Falcons job so he can reunite with his quarterback, Penix. The Falcons already said Penix is sitting this year and possibly next year. And as soon as that head coaching job is open, Kalen DeBoer will be gone to the Falcons.
Ooh, wow. Whew. Man.
I don't know what kind of a promise they gave him, but if Kirk Cousins doesn't stop throwing interceptions, I'm moving that thing up a little bit because he's been terrible lately.
What are they waiting on? I mean, I'd go ahead and put Penix. I mean, it's not like you can redshirt him or anything. I mean, go ahead and play the kid. I don't know what the deal is there with Penix because Cousins doesn't seem to have worked out as well as they thought. Also, what do you say we take a top of the hour timeout? When we return, Tom Luginbill will join us on our City of Montgomery guest hotline, college football analyst for ESPN. He was in Montgomery Saturday night for the Salute to Veterans Bowl. We'll chat with him about that and everything else college football when we return.
It's in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
This is Barry McKnight from Longshore and McKnight, telling you about our friends at River Region Straw. You're not buying sticks or stems and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color, that'll last all season long. They've got locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small. From a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load, River Region Straw also has seasoned firewood for the cold days and nights ahead. Pickup is available, and your order can be delivered if you like. They can even spread your pine straw if that's what you want to have happen, for sure. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw and firewood needs at River Region Straw.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
The Victoryland Casino 8 Days of Giveaways is going on now. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. We're giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. That's right. Victoryland Casino is giving away $125,000 in free play and cash. Come play the latest and greatest games featuring exciting bonuses and huge jackpots. There's always more ways to win at Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, welcome back in. Got you going here this morning, getting close to the top of the hour. Let's see. I'm going to send this to Gern because I'm going to let him.
Okay, well,
communicate
I'll
with
talk for a
Luganville.
little while
Yeah,
then.
we got, I guess, with our new streaming service, getting a little difficulty with Luganville, but we'll get that worked out here in just a second.
Okay, all right. Well, we have still that Victoryland topic wheel that we're going to get to. Bound to be talking a little bit about the Heisman Trophy later on. I'm habitually not a voter. I don't usually vote on such things. But it was a good show.
Yep.
Travis Hunter ends up winning it. Really good speech. Really good. He spoke about Dion and how he changed his life, and he looked directly into the camera, talking about his dad and all that. That was a really good show. I would have voted for Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. I'm a group of 5 guy, and his numbers are just absolutely crazy. I don't see any way around, though, that Travis Hunter ought to be the first pick in the draft. I just don't know what position he would play. Surely he can't go both ways in the NFL. Surely
I
they're
wouldn't
going to have
think
to make him
so.
choose, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. And I'm glad to hear that. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of the Heisman ceremony, but I will say that from what I did see of Travis Hunter, to me, he's the best player.
Yeah,
I think so.
He's the most talented player. I remember hearing urban legends about him in high school at Collins Hill, and then all the 7-on-7s, how he was so much athletically superior to everybody else. And then he absolutely shocked the world when he signed with Jackson State. He was a number 1 recruit in the country. He goes to Jackson State because of Dion. And Dion got a transfer in from his son Shador and his son Shiloh, who had been playing at Florida Atlantic. They go to Jackson State. How in the world with Shador Sanders and with Travis Hunter did Jackson State ever lose?
I'm with you.
I mean, you got those guys playing again. Nothing wrong with them. Some fine players going up against Alcorn and Mississippi Valley State. So Dion gets the Colorado job, and Colorado had a good year, not a great year. I think Dion kind of validated the fact that he can coach a little bit. At least he's really good at talent acquisition, because, you and I have both wondered how legitimate they would be next year. They were 9-3 this year, and they have 2 of the top 10 finalists in the Heisman Trophy on their team. One of them is the coach's son. The other one is going to be the first pick in the draft. So we'll see how they are next year, but he has done a really good job. 9 wins with Colorado, and a lot of people thought it would be an absolute train wreck there.
Yeah, I wonder, and isn't it getting to the point, is it too late that if Dion is going to move on, go to somewhere else, shouldn't he be making that news now?
Unless he's going to the National Football League. I don't know. The NFL is so 100% completely different from college football. It's almost like it's not even the same sport. In college football, you and I have interviewed coaches before and experts who have said really that the actual coaching of football for a collegiate head coach takes up about 30 or 40% of your time. You're actually coaching less than half of the amount of time you're on the job. In the NFL, that's all it is. It is pure football. When you're the head coach, you may be working with the GM, but the GM's acquiring the talent and making the trades and signing the free agents and all that. All you're doing is coaching football.
Yeah,
I don't know that that's
I wonder.
Dion's
I've
thing.
always wondered why the NFL seems to be more of a grind. You're not recruiting. You're I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, the general manager kind of deals with
Yeah.
all type of stuff, building a roster. I don't know. I mean, I guess
There's
what more is there to do as an NFL head coach than there would be as a college head coach?
there's really not more. It's just the same thing. I mean, you don't have different responsibilities. You got the same thing, and that's game plan, coach football, oversee the program. In college football, you've got to fundraise. I mean, you have got to be dealing with NIL. You've got to be dealing with fundraising to get facilities done. You've got to be calling donors. You've got to be showing
Yeah.
up at this speech and that speech, or the greater school fund and all of that. You've got to be talking with people about whether or not you can afford this player. I remember reading a quote the other day from Lincoln Riley, the head coach at USC, and he said, look, we're looking for a lot of guys to come in. They've got to fit what we're doing. We're going to lose a lot of guys. Not that we want to lose them, but because they're asking for more money than they're worth.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. You want that much?
Yeah,
Son, I
come
don't
on.
think you're even going to be a starter for us this year. They got to deal with all that kind of stuff. And they made a bit of that has to do with getting a first down or getting a
Yeah.
defensive stop or kicking a field goal or winning a game. Not a bit.
30% of their job is actually coaching football. The other 70% is trying to put all these other fires out.
Yes.
Hey, our man Tom Luganville, college football analyst for ESPN, joining us here this morning. Luke, sorry about the glitches there, but I'm glad we could get it all worked out. How you doing today?
Good morning, guys. I'm glad we got it worked out as well. I'm sorry for the delay. Just hearing your conversation right there. It's so funny because that's all I've been talking about with people for the last week since this announcement came out in relationship to just the stark, vast night and day differences between what you do in professional football and what you do in college football. And it is going to be a fascinating experiment, no doubt.
Tom, how was your experience in Montgomery?
Fantastic, actually. We, got in there on Friday, South Alabama and Western Michigan. And this is one thing I respect about them, and I said this on air, is, so many of these bowl games are about who wants to be there now, right? Who wants to actually play and compete. And these guys came ready to play. They were excited to be there. You've got two programs kind of in their infant stages of trying to develop and grow into something that at the group of five level, they can sustain and be considered a force. So a bowl game means something. It's important, and there's value to it. And had a great football game, and we'll see how that kicks off Capital One Bowl Mania, which we did on Saturday night. And then we're going to embark on a couple of bowl games in the first round of the college football playoffs.
Well, we're glad you enjoyed your time here in the capital city. Sorry we didn't have a moment to kind of run into one another. I know we were doing a lot of different things over the weekend, but glad you had a good time here in the hometown. I know we'll see each other real soon. Luke, do we have the right Heisman winner? Did the voters get it right?
Listen, I can tell you I have a vote. I did vote for Travis Hunter. Vote for Ashton Jeanty second. Listen, I think, I don't know if you guys saw my post on social media yesterday, but I likened this to the 1994 calendar year of Academy Award winning films. Okay. Ashton Jeanty is the Shawshank Redemption to Travis Hunter's Forrest Gump.
Ooh.
Where in any other year, he walks away with it. It just happened to come out in the same year as Forrest Gump. So, I think both are more than worthy. If I were to give my 2 cents on why I lean towards Travis Hunter, is nobody, and I mean nobody, has ever done what he's done.
Right.
In the sport of football. And as magnificent as Ashton Jeanty was, and listen, I get the whole group of five thing, and I say that because when my dad was the head coach at San Diego State, he coached Marshall Faulk, and in 1992, Marshall Faulk was far and away the best player in college football. Gino Torretta, because he played for Miami, and this is no knock on Gino, won the Heisman Trophy, and Gino wasn't even the best player on his own team, let alone the entire country. But when you play at a San Diego State or you play at a Boise State, Maybe you're not seen as often. I think it can have an impact on you negatively. I don't think that's fair. I'm just stating kind of the realities of it. But with Travis, what it takes off the field to accomplish what he accomplished and do it without getting injured, it's unprecedented. It's never been done. It never been done before. And just imagine your day-to-day routine. Hey, listen, you got to leave this defensive meeting early because you got to get over to the offensive meeting, and then we got to get you over to the special teams meeting. And oh, by the way, you better go get in the cold tub. Then you better get in the hot tub. Then you better go get treatment. Oh, by the way, you got to go to class. And you're trying to do all of these different things to manage your body to get to Saturday, and then to perform at that standard every single week. Now, listen, this doesn't happen if Colorado doesn't improve, right? This doesn't happen if Colorado's 4-8 again.
Right.
Because Travis Hunter was spectacular last year, right? Shedeur Sanders was spectacular last year. But the rest of the team wasn't enough to help them win football games. And that's another one of the reasons why this worked for him.
Walk us through what the upshot was. I've not seen this before, of the champion of the Sun Belt Conference not being able to field a team for a bowl game, and what the long-term ramifications of that type of a phenomenon mean.
I hate this for Marshall. I hate this for the kids that chose to stay within the program. I hate this for new head coach Tony Gibson. But I'm also going to say this. These types of things need to happen to create the change that is necessary to prevent this stuff going forward. We cannot be in this situation with college athletes who are not going to fulfill their obligations and put an entire roster or a university who's worked their entire calendar year to earn that right and that privilege to go play in a bowl game, and now you don't have enough bodies to field a team. That's fundamentally wrong, guys. And I hate that we're seeing it, but you know, it's just like Bo Pribula at Penn State. We've now crossed over the transfer portal window, which will end before the quarterfinals of the playoff, right? So how is he supposed to, if he's going to move on, how is he supposed to do that and still stay with Penn State when the transfer portal window is going to close on the 28th? You know, this isn't sustainable. The calendar does not work for any of this, and there's got to be a better way.
Luke's, how is Jackson Arnold going to be a better quarterback at Auburn than he was at Oklahoma?
Well, I don't think he will have the terrible, terrible misfortune of playing 7 games with 5 of their top receiving targets not on the field. And I think that's one thing that's been glossed over a little bit in the struggles of the Oklahoma offense, is they were not very good in the offensive line, and they did not have any of the weapons and good weapons that they thought they were going to come into the season having. I think Jackson Arnold is a really good player that needs a fresh start. And if that fresh start is on the Plains, and I think we know that they've obviously got some weapons there that are pretty good. They got to stay healthy, right? You can't have those guys all go get injured. But I do think I think you'll see a bit of a better player. I could be wrong, but I know that position is a lot on the quarterback, but it's also a lot on circumstance and your surroundings. And that was not ideal for Jackson Arnold. And I think the recipe for disaster, if you will, is you have all of those things happen as you also enter into the SEC with one of the most difficult schedules of a first-year entry team, which Texas did not have. Texas didn't have to play Oklahoma's schedule.
Yeah.
All right. And so that would be my answer for Jackson Arnold.
We begin the college football first-round games on Friday. There's one on Friday. There's 3 on Saturday. Which one do you suspect would be the best game?
I think Indiana and Notre Dame is probably the most evenly matched game. 2 teams in cold weather environments, not having to travel to foreign territory, very comfortable in their surroundings, and something's got to give. You got one team that's one of the top teams in the country in running the football, and you got the other team that's the best team in the country in stopping it. All right. So how does that play out between Indiana and Notre Dame? I also think if you are, nobody's had the recipe to slow down Indiana's offense except for Ohio State. Well, that wasn't overly complicated. Ohio State was so far superior to Indiana up front that they just beat them up front. And offensively, Indiana couldn't put together any type of sustainable consistency. I think Notre Dame is not what Ohio State is up front. Notre Dame, for the vast majority of the season, and you've got to give them credit here and really point to their competitive depth, has been playing with a lot of reserves in the defensive front. Their first 4 to 6 weeks, they lost 2 to 3 starters in their defensive front seven, and they've had some guys step up and make some plays. I don't think they're Ohio State's guys. And so this is going to be very interesting. If Indiana is able to score early, I don't know if Notre Dame's the type of team that wants to try to get into any type of track meet, play from behind setting, because that's not who they are. I mean, you look at, they're going to throw the ball for about 170 yards a game. Quarterback's going to be part of the run game. And then the rest of the time, they are going to run the football on offense. But if they get behind, what does Notre Dame do? I think that's going to be intriguing. I also think the other game is SMU Penn State. And it's, I'm going to be there. I'll be the reporter on the SMU sideline for that broadcast. It's going to be about 30 degrees. We all know what the environment is there in Happy Valley. We also know that that Penn State is really good at beating the teams they're supposed to. Not very good at beating teams where there's an expectation that other team could be a problem. Now, people may say, "Oh, this is SMU's out of their league here. This is way above. They're way over their skis." We'll find out. Because all I know is every single time somebody has said that about SMU, they've answered the toll. So I think that could be a really fun game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as we get into the playoff beginning on Friday night, as you mentioned, Indiana and Notre Dame. How does Kalen DeBoer get his team ready to play? I mean, it looks like most of the normal players are going to be there. Jalen Milroe is going to play. These two teams met last year, but totally different from that game in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the hardest things in college football. When your expectation was to make the playoff and you don't, how do you get your team excited?
Right.
How do you get them ready to play?
Goes right back to what I said about bowl season. Who wants to be there, right? How important is the bowl game? What does it say about who you are as a football team? What does it say about who you are as a program and going into the offseason, regardless of the disappointment of not making the college football playoff? Because I think it's a really bad look if you go out and lay an egg. Because if you're Michigan, guys, Michigan's going out saying, we just beat Ohio State. Everybody thinks we stink. Now we get a chance to play Alabama. We got everything to gain and nothing to lose. They're going into that thing probably with a killer's mentality. And Alabama better match that intensity. They're going to need it. I think Michigan is a good enough football team on defense to really make it tough on Alabama offensively. The question is, can Michigan muster any offense against Alabama's defense with the subpar quarterback play that they've had all year long? And so I think it's really important that the mentality of Alabama's football team matches that of Michigan, because I think Michigan will be ready to go.
You've already been in Montgomery. You're heading up to Happy Valley. Where else during bowl season, Tom?
I've got the Rate Bowl the day after Christmas, so I'm going to fly out of here on late Christmas afternoon, get into Arizona, and take on Rutgers and Kansas State on the 26th there in Phoenix, and then I'll come back after. Well, I don't know quite what I'll be doing. If SMU beats Penn State, then they'll be playing Boise in the Fiesta Bowl, and since I'll already be there, I would probably likely stay to do some coverage for that, and then head down to Orlando for the Under Armour All-America game on January 2nd. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, guys.
Yeah.
It's there. It's like a pinpoint right now, but it's getting a little bit bigger, and just counting down the days. It's been a great season.
Luke, I don't know. I don't think we've asked you about these two players, with the season and transfer and all that type stuff. But signing day was, a week or so ago. And Auburn and Alabama both signed very highly rated quarterbacks. Auburn signing Deuce Knight, Alabama Keelan Russell. Your thoughts about those two players?
Love them both. I felt Keelan Russell. I saw him for the first time as an underclassman 2 years ago in a camp in Dallas, Texas. And I go, he looks like a right-handed Michael Penix. So then SMU gets on him early, right? And it was like, when you're a team like SMU that had not accomplished what they've accomplished this fall yet, and they're moving into the Power 5 ranks or Power 4 ranks, and that's like having a 500-pound Marlin on the line, but he's 500 yards away, right? And all of these other schools are chomping at the bit. Alabama swoops in late. I think he's going to be a really good football player. He's got a ton of talent. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He comes from a great high school program where the expectation to perform is very, very high. So his level of performance at a high caliber of play in that state, very, very important. Deuce Knight is your true dual threat. This is what Auburn needs at quarterback. They need a guy that is a significant run threat that can be involved in this offense to really put pressure on people and not be a one-dimensional player from within the pocket. And so when you look at Jackson Arnold, Deuce, obviously Walker White decided to go into the transfer portal. See how they address that. Maybe they'll address that in the spring period if they feel they need to coming out of spring football. But I think two very, very important gets for both programs. And now, you gotta see who pans out, who develops, who becomes a guy. If you followed high school recruiting at all, even as a novice, you've probably come to realize that the percentages do not weigh in your favor to pan out as a high school quarterback to the collegiate ranks. The vast majority do not. That's why all this money that's being thrown around is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, your return on investment and the percentages are really, really low. So you got to kind of play the wait and see game.
The two Heisman Trophy finalist quarterbacks both were on their third school.
And 6 and 7 year guys, right? So they'd seen everything, played a ton of football. They developed. I mean, all of those. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, the same thing the year before. That matters. It carries weight. That's why I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be such a fixture in the college football playoff, because if you're going to go through that gauntlet, you better have the most consistently high-performing player at that position in college football, and that's what he is.
Barry and I were talking about it earlier today, Lugs. Is there been another quarterback that's transferred more than TJ Finley?
No, there hasn't. And the thing is, he's the same guy everywhere he goes. And it's kind of like what I said about DJ Uiagalelei last offseason when Florida State took him, and I was going, guys, how many times does somebody have to show you what he is before you believe him? And why would you that's a large sample size of DJ Uiagalelei. You knew exactly what he was going to be. Yep. DJ Finley, we've seen a large sample size. So if you want to take the risk, that's fine, but know what you're going to get. You're going to get what you've seen in the last 3 to 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the last 3 to 4 to 5 schools.
You're not changing the stripes on a tiger at this point.
Tom, it's always a pleasure. We do appreciate the time and the insight. Thanks very much.
You bet. Hey, enjoy the first round. This ought to be fun.
Oh. Man, cannot wait. We'll talk next week. Thank you, my friend.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right, buddy. Tom Luginbill brought to you each and every week exclusively from our friends at River Bank and Trust. Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the River Bank and Trust difference, and they invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond. River Bank and Trust, locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama.
When we come back, maybe recap the Phantom. Well, no.
Well, we didn't have the Phantom on Friday, but hold on, the Phantom. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do believe the Phantom will join us this Friday from Stivers Ford in Montgomery to have some bowl, probably some college football playoff action, if I had to guess. I know Lee Sterling will be here with his bowl extravaganza. Ralph Michaels as well. Ralph had some great insight and info last Friday. Hope everybody was able to catch it about handicapping bowl games, particularly during this area of transfers and coaches hopping out to other teams and things of that nature. Thought that was real interesting.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment with all of that. Our topic wheel will be a part of it as well and more. In association with Yellowhammer News, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Welcome to the holidays. They're officially here. Time for tradition, family gatherings, meals, and the annual scramble of searching for those last-minute gifts. Speaking of gifts, this season Budweiser's got your back. Head to the store right now and look for our specials. Why go all over town looking for that perfect gift when Budweiser takes care of everyone in one convenient ice-cold package? When you stock up on Budweiser with our specials, you'll have plenty to share with your friends and family. They'll all appreciate that Budweiser's brewed the hard way and has been for 140 years. We use the finest barley, malt, and hops grown in Idaho and Germany. We don't take any shortcuts when we're brewing. That's our tradition. So make the most of your holidays. Stop by your local store now for our specials. Grab enough Budweiser for yourself, your friends, and your family. It's a new holiday tradition everyone can enjoy together. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser.
You know all about the 12 days of Christmas, but what about the 12 days of Dixie? We're giving away 12 of this year's hottest holiday gifts. Just go to facebook.com/Dixie Electric Plumbing Air and comment on the daily prize post using the hashtag 12 Days of Dixie and you're automatically entered to win. The winner's name is posted on Facebook the following day with the opportunity to enter daily. The 12 Days of Dixie is going on right now.
Okay, it's about 25 minutes past the hour on this Monday. So glad you are with us here today. I've been wanting to ask Lugs about his opinions about Deuce Knight and Keelan Russell. Glad he was able to give us a little breakdown there because we're hearing a lot about these young men and certainly looks like the future with these two guys at quarterback could be quite exciting.
Well, if I'm both of those guys, both 5 stars, I'm looking at these opportunities as just that. I mean, Deuce Knight could come in and win the job.
Yeah.
And he'll have a chance to compete for the job as opposed to some of these schools saying, well, we've got a 2-year starter back. And Keelan Russell, I guarantee you he could come in and win the job.
You know, Barry,
That's
I'm with you there.
wide open.
And if I'm the Auburn coaching staff, I'm thinking, sure, Deuce, you can come in and win the job. I mean, don't worry about this quarterback we just got in the portal who's got he's 14 out of 16 quarterbacks in this league in QBR. You can beat that guy out. Come on. He's just here as an insurance policy. Yeah,
Weren't
sure
you
can
listening to Luganville? Offensive line injuries.
Oh.
5 wide receivers injured. You know, that type of a thing.
Well, was Auburn's offensive line, were they great last year? Well, okay, I get it. I don't want to break this down to a minute science, but okay, fine.
Until he actually enrolls, and then John will dust all this back off. Here's a trivia question.
All right.
Before we go to the Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
Where's Chris the Bammer today?
No kidding. He must be sleeping in. Normally,
Chris, where are you today? Wow.
Spin the wheel, spin the wheel, spin the wheel. 17 of the last 19 Heisman Trophy winners were first-round NFL draft picks. Travis Hunter, in the latest mock thing from some of them, from Yahoo Sports, Travis Hunter is projected as the number 2 pick. They have as the number 1 pick Cam Ward, the quarterback out of Miami, just simply because quarterbacks are so valuable. Okay, so it'll be, right now it's 17 of the last 19 Heisman winners were first-round draft picks. It's about to be 18 of the last 20. Who were the only 2 exceptions? Who were the only 2 out of the last 20 Heisman Trophy winners who weren't first-round draft picks? There were 2. One of them I knew right off the bat. It was Troy Smith, the quarterback at Ohio State in 2007.
Wow.
People forget that he even won the Heisman Trophy.
Oh,
Troy Smith is a Heisman Trophy winner. Ohio State. He ended up being a 5th-round draft pick, I think, by the Ravens. Didn't play much. The other one, believe it or not, 2016, Derrick Henry. Who in the world would pass on Derrick Henry in the first round? He was a 2nd-round draft pick. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I wonder how many running backs, I guess maybe years ago, I mean, like Ricky Williams was a first-round pick, I believe, first pick. People like
Ditka
that.
traded his whole draft class to get
and
Ricky Williams.
You hear so much about, the NFL's not a running league and
Not
running
anymore.
backs don't last long and it's
Mhm.
not a priority on the running game. I mean, in the NFL, it's quarterback, wide receiver, and
Mhm.
left tackle.
Left tackle. No question.
That's
no
who they're
doubt.
looking for. I think they're so interchangeable. I mean, Derrick Henry's had a great career. I think he's proven that he's certainly a worthy NFL running back. I mean, Mark Ingram had a great long NFL career. I don't know how great it was, but
All-time leading rusher in New Orleans Saints
Yeah.
history, I'll have you know.
sure, yeah.
Hey, speaking of
will.
Heisman trophies, guess who was there to congratulate Travis Hunter, take a few photos with him and everything for the first time in 14 years?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton was
Yeah.
there.
What was he
never
dressed
been-
like?
He still had on the Canadian Mounted Police
Yeah,
hat, you know.
Was Cam, you mentioned Auburn never having a 5-star quarterback or maybe 2 on the same team. I don't know if
Two on the same team. They've
Was
never had
Cam
2
Newton-
5-star quarterbacks.
was Cam Newton a 5-star?
Coming out of high school, he was not. I think he was a 4 out of high school
world
in
were they
Georgia
looking
down
at?
to Florida, then to junior college, and then to Auburn.
I'm just trying to think of the last. I mean, when you mentioned that earlier, Barry, I'm going in my mind. I'm going 5-star. Was Bo Nix a 5-star?
He was.
All right.
He was. But he was it in a lot of different senses. He was
Auburn
it.
finally gets a 5-star quarterback, a legacy. His father played there, and the guy leaves.
With his degree, he did graduate.
Got that going for him.
Yep.
Wow, only Bo Nix.
That way
only
you can
5-star?
look on Denver quarterback,
Huh.
former Auburn Tiger Bo Nix,
Yeah.
Auburn alum. Bo
So, like
Nix.
on Monday Night Football, when they show the players, he goes, Bo Nix, Auburn University. He's going to say that instead
I've
of
not
Oregon?
seen that. I've not seen that. Normally they do that on
Huh.
Sunday Night Football.
Has anybody
And some of
seen
it
that
drives
yet?
me crazy. Some of them will say, Capitol Heights Junior High.
Yeah.
No, say the name of the college.
Yeah, come on.
Although that doesn't mean as much as it used to, because so many of these guys don't go to the same school.
Yeah,
for
they
4
might have to
years.
stop doing that because you're right. TJ Finley, it would take him 10 minutes to go through all the schools he played
TJ
for.
Finley, LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, and wherever else.
How did this turn into TJ Finley Day? I mean, it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what path we're going to take. It ended up being TJ Finley Day today.
He actually, I was surprised. I was surprised he had any eligibility left. He got hurt
too.
this year. He only played in about 3 games for Western Kentucky, so he does have a year, I guess, for a medical red shirt.
I guessed.
I don't know.
I guess so. I don't know. So Cam was at the Heisman ceremony.
Yeah,
Good to
he's
hear
not
that.
been because he didn't think that they were very fair with his dad. A lot of people feel like they weren't. Somebody wasn't very fair with his dad. Like they didn't want his dad to go, or I can't remember what it was, to be honest, or they wanted him to sit
would
like
they
in the back corner or something like that.
What would lead them to making that decision?
I don't
Cam,
know.
we don't want your dad here. Well, did he do something that was maybe, I don't know, a little irregular, I don't want to go as far as saying illegal,
No, it definitely wasn't illegal.
a little irregular maybe,
Oh,
that they
no.
thought, I mean, what does your dad have to do that they say, don't be coming over here to a football game anymore?
I don't
And
know.
he had to sneak in through the loading dock to get to some bowl game to see him play. Maybe it was the SEC championship or something.
He had a ticket.
They
He
told
went
him not to
right
come.
through the ticket booth. They scanned his ticket. They said,
has anybody
"Welcome,"
ever
and he
done
went.
a
He
deep
sat
dive
right
and investigative report on?
Yes.
Why is everybody
It's
giving
called the
Cam's dad?
NCAA. It's
Well, did
called
we
the
ever
National
find out
Collegiate Athletic Association.
why they had such an issue with Cam's father? That's what I'm asking. Well, what's up with
That's what
Reverend?
Cam said. Cam
with
said, "Look,
Reverend
there was
Newton?"
nothing to it. You treated him wrong,
Oh, nothing
and
to it.
I ain't coming back to this Heisman Trophy ceremony."
I
But he
don't think
came
they
back-
missed him.
Yeah.
But hey, he finally wised up and said, "I think I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go check it out now."
Yeah. It was good.
Well, I hope there was nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, I want everything to be good in that corner of the world, and I'm just glad to know that some people have, crossed
Moved
the
on?
bridge, moved
Moved
on,
on?
buried the hatchet,
uh-huh.
as they say. Yeah,
Went ahead and thanked him for all the content he provided him for years on talk shows and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Well,
So
all
I'm
right.
glad
What
to
do you
know
say?
that.
Let's go ahead and hit at least once
Yeah.
before the break
Why not?
our
Victoryland.
Victoryland topic wheel.
Yeah, Victoryland 777 topic wheel. And folks, people are winning a lot of cash out at Victoryland. You've been seeing the commercials we've been playing. Get your share of $125,000 at Victoryland, where you can be a winner too. Okay, I see a lot of topics on the Victoryland topic wheel.
Yep.
So I hope it's good and greased up today. Let's spin it and see what pops up.
Oh,
look
shoot
out.
me.
Oh,
Just
ow.
put a big old butter knife right into my kidneys.
Oh, how did that happen?
All right.
Well, some people, I don't know, don't factor in QBR maybe as much as others do. I got to admit, for our new viewers and listeners, I still don't really know what QBR is. Obviously, it's quarterback rating. I don't know what data goes into it to get you rated. But it all started many, many years ago, and I'm thinking, whoa, wait a minute. Bo Nix is like 85th in QBR rating out of 130 teams? No way. This guy's got to be better than that. And, of course, he was running for his life on about every play, throwing balls up into the third row, having arguments with his offensive coordinator right there in broad daylight for the whole world to see.
Being snooty with his wide receiver. Oh,
yeah.
The absolute outrage. Oh.
So maybe there were some things that were going into his low QBR rating. But I'm telling you, as I predicted, once he got a new start, fresh, scenery in the great Pacific Northwest, that QBR started shooting up. Woo!
Yeah, I think he was like number 3 last year.
Single digits. I mean, this
rating.
kid, I don't know what happened. But man,
better players around him.
Well, I do know what happened. So I've always wondered about QBR, but I will admit I'm coming clean. I did hear late last week, about Jackson Arnold visiting Auburn, and the check clear. I mean, the offer was made, and hey, I'm going to Auburn. And then somebody on a text chain that I'm a part of.
There's a shocker. Huge shock. You guys, believe me, I got nothing but respect for you because you don't miss. You don't miss a thing.
Maybe I can get this on our screen. So somebody sends me a screenshot. Well, it's glares.
No,
back.
I can't see it. Too bright.
Anyway, well, you see the
I see the red arrow. Yeah.
That is Jackson Arnold on the list of SEC quarterback QBR rating. Jackson Dart, number 1. Jalen Milroe, believe it or not, is number 2.
I thought that's where you were going when the topic wheel said QBR. I thought you were going to go on and say, look, Bama fans, stop giving Jalen Milroe all this crud about being a terrible passer. He had the number 2 quarterback rating in the entire Southeastern Conference this year.
Unbelievable.
Couldn't have been all him. Must have been other factors involved. I thought that's where you were headed.
Milroe, his QBR rating consists of 486 plays. Jackson Dart, 516. Garrett Nussmeier leads the pack with 588 plays, but he is 4th on the QBR rating. So you're saying, okay, well, Jackson Arnold's numbers are down because of the number of plays. No, he did play in 418 plays. Barry, I don't know what a PAA stat is, but that's what's really hurting Jackson Arnold because he's negative, or he's minus 20.3. Minus 20.3 in PAA, which is part of the QBR rating. I don't know what it is, but it's got him in the 15th.
But it ain't good. Yeah.
He's in the 15th spot out of 16 quarterbacks in this. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say what's so great about Jackson Arnold. Obviously, there are 14 other quarterbacks in this league that allegedly are better based on QBR rating. But, Barry, I've never been a big stat guy. I'm an eye test guy. I did see this guy run all over Alabama's defense in Norman about a month ago. Maybe that's all I needed to see.
Well, yeah. Kind of redeeming himself out of, I don't know what PAA is, but it sucked. It's like, I couldn't tell you what it is, except that it wasn't good.
He's
Whatever
the only
PAA,
quarterback.
he needs to shore that up.
He's the only quarterback with a negative PAA rating where Jackson Dart's is 72.7. Jackson Arnold's is negative 20.3.
See, what John's reading is blah, 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 blah. It's bad. That's it. That's the whole deal.
I have no idea what PAA is.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody can help us out on the River Region Straw chat line, but don't let that low QBR rating, don't let that affect your giddiness over there in Auburn or on the message boards. Hey, guy ran all over the Tide. What more do you need?
Jalen Milroe, I think he's just gotten way too much crud. I don't know what it is. He had the second best passive. It wasn't close. I mean, Jackson Dart was way ahead of everybody, but Jalen Milroe was second. 15 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions. Doesn't sound great, but hey, the number is the number,
It is the number.
Yeah.
Where did Jackson Arnold play high school football?
Denton, Texas. I don't know the name of the school, but he's from Denton, Texas,
He's
where
a
the
Texas
University of North
product.
Texas is. He's not especially big. He's maybe 6'1", 6'1.5", maybe 195 pounds, but he is a really good athlete. And who knows? Who knows? It's I think it suits what Hugh Freeze wants a little bit better than Peyton Thorne.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yep, cautiously optimistic. We will see how that plays out.
Yep. Well,
all right.
I'm
about to say, is it time for a break? Because I know we I probably went off on too long of a rant on QBR rating.
Let's take a break. It's in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, folks, you got to take advantage of the incredible holiday savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where they sell America's best-selling truck for 50 years in a row, the F-150. And you can get an F-150 at 1.9% APR for 60 months or up to $15,000 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days. Hundreds to choose from. Your F-150 is on the lot right now. Also, F-150 Lightnings, $15,000 off MSRP and 0% APR for 72 months. What about the stylish Ford Bronco? Up to $10,000 off MSRP, starting as low as $34,990. And it started it all with the Ford Explorer. You can get one for up to $8,000 off MSRP, as low as $33,900 and 1.9% APR for 66 months. Folks, Stivers Ford is loaded with cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to sell. Stivers Ford, 4000 Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders. Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the River region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the River region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Uh-oh.
There we go, 17 minutes to the top of the hour. Before we move on to the Victoryland 777 topic, Will, I know there's a lot of news outlets that have come out and reported this, and this started breaking last night, but some very sad news about Auburn team chaplain there,
Chet Williams.
Chet Williams, who died yesterday unexpectedly, drowned in Lake Martin, and just a tragic news coming out of there. And I know the Auburn family is very sad this morning, hearing this news as it's breaking on multiple media outlets.
Yeah, the first I had heard of it actually was early this morning. I woke up early, and some of the Auburn players who are social media friends of mine, David Rocker, who's a pastor now in Georgia, had mentioned something about that, and I said, "Holy smokes, what in the world happened to Chet Williams?" And it turned out that was the case. He lost his life yesterday in a drowning, apparently, in Lake Martin. He was the Auburn team chaplain for a long time. There are a lot of people who work with student athletes on the spiritual side, and he was as active as any of them. So our condolences go out to the Auburn family. Chet Williams made a lot of difference in a lot of lives, and that is to be respected. Also, speaking about people who are active in their faith and in college and with young people, I told you that I got to, I am the graduate's name reader at Troy commencement
Yes.
every time. I had to leave a little bit early on Friday to be there in time for the fall commencement. And I had to read over 800 names, and my voice was not doing all that great, but I made it through. The keynote speaker in that, John Ed Matheson.
Oh, fantastic.
He said to say hey to you. John Ed, the pastor for many, many years at Fraser Memorial United Methodist Church in Montgomery, and a long-time contributor to our show. He was really good. He's been involved with Troy and a lot of local schools for a long time. And one of the things that I think made him really popular was that his commencement speech lasted about 8 minutes, maybe 10, John. That was a big double thumbs up from a lot of the people out there. Well, but it's great to catch up with John Ed, one of my absolute all-time favorites.
Oh, you better know it. He is one of the best. You better believe that. So, yeah, sorry to hear that about Chet Williams, man. Just sad
difference
news happening yesterday up at Lake Martin. Okay, I think our Victorland 777 topic wheel is locked and loaded after we got the QBR. It's funny how that just happened to be the
I looked
spin.
at that on the wheel, and I was saying, oh, please.
Yeah. So let's see what's next up on the Victorland 777 topic wheel here on a Monday as we get ready to spin it and see where it lands. Always a lot of topics on Monday. And where we go, this is a big one here because there were some big games. I don't know if you heard in the first hour, but man, did Ohio State win the national championship last year? I mean, I don't know, it kind of sounded like it, but man, Auburn blowing out a great Ohio State team. Great might be stretching it a little bit, but hey, a win's a win on a neutral site floor over in Atlanta.
Auburn wins it over Ohio State, 91-53. Now, Auburn was a 12.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
The story early on, I think, in college basketball is Johni Broome. He had 21 points, 20 rebounds for Auburn against Ohio State, who's no slouch themselves. They got out to a 25-8 lead in the first 10 minutes. I love this note because I remember this guy. Johni Broome became the first Auburn player to record 20 points and 20 rebounds in a game since Kelvin Artister in 1989. I remember Kelvin Artister. I remember going and interviewing him one time. This was when Sonny was there at the very end, and they were having some difficulty.
Kelvin
and I talked to Kelvin Artister. He's about a 6'5" player. Didn't play all 4 years at Auburn, but I asked him in the postgame locker room. I said, "Hey, about the big performance. What generated it all? Need to be winning, tired of losing." Kelvin Artister, ladies and gentlemen. That was.
Do you remember the team that he did that against?
It was, I don't have it as a recollection that it was a very good team. Maybe a Moorhead
Yeah,
State
so
or
and there
somebody
again,
like
I
that.
don't want to rain on these guys' parades, but that's another reason I'm not a stat guy. I mean, did they do it against UConn? Did they do it
Ohio
against?
State's
Oh,
no slouch. I mean, they're not embarrassing.
yeah,
They were 6-3 coming in.
yeah. It's
Also,
kind of like that guy that hits all these home runs, and his home park's got a left field of about 315. Oh, no wonder he's hitting so many home runs.
27 years with him, folks. 27, going on 28. Number 7, Alabama. That was in Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah, it
Number
was.
7, Alabama playing at home at Coleman Coliseum. An 83-75 win over Creighton, who came in 7-3.
Oh,
on
beat
the
Kansas last week.
Yep, 83-75 final score. Really wasn't that close. Creighton had kind of a comeback late. So,
And then, when you put the scrubs in,
Yeah.
that lead can evaporate. Omaha, Nebraska is where Creighton is from. I learned that yesterday.
you had no idea what Creighton was until
Did
then?
not know where
Okay.
Creighton. To me, it sounds like a Big East type team.
It
Somebody
is
from
a
up
Big
there.
East school. It is, Big
But
East.
from up that area, Massachusetts, Connecticut, somewhere like that. I went Nebraska. Really? They
Yep,
sound like
Omaha, Nebraska.
Huh.
The Blue Jays. Auburn back at home on Tuesday at Neville Arena against Georgia State. Go ahead and get ready, because if Auburn wins that big, you're going to hear from John about how bad Georgia State is, and they're bad.
I do not know that. I need to do a little research on Georgia State before I make that type of
Georgia State.
statement.
Auburn's a look-ahead game for Georgia State because that game is on Tuesday. Georgia State will play at Troy to open Sun Belt play on Saturday. So maybe they're looking ahead past Auburn to the Troy Trojans. And again, as we mentioned, Alabama, they will play again on Saturday. No, that's not right. Alabama plays before Saturday.
Yeah, I don't have the schedule.
Yeah, they play on Wednesday. I knew
Wednesday.
they play Wednesday. Number 7, Alabama, 8:00 Wednesday night against North Dakota. At North Dakota.
At North Dakota.
North Dakota is 4-8. How can a 4-8 team from the godforsaken middle of nowhere have enough juice to take on the number 7 team in the country at their home place? It's got to be more than Grant Nelson is from somewhere Dakota. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd heard that was kind of one of the angles on it. I don't know why else you'd play in North Dakota. Chris the Bammer has emailed longshoremcknight@gmail.com. So has Coach. Has chimed in today with an email. What do we got from those two gentlemen?
I love hearing from those guys. Coach says, "Good morning, men. John, have you heard of a store named Dirt Cheap?" I think they're going out of business.
Yeah,
I think
they
that's
are too,
I could be wrong. If they aren't, I
Could be.
apologize.
Having a liquidation sale.
Some programs have to shop there for quarterbacks, but don't be surprised to see another quarterback that's not yet in the portal join the Tigers.
Oh.
Speaking of quarterbacks, where does Ty Simpson land? Because Milroe is coming back.
Oh.
I know
wow.
you love that. Signed Coach. Okay,
Coach with some inside
breaking.
info. Well, he's
Auburn
not
is getting another quarterback who's not in the portal right now. If he's not in the portal, how do they even know they're going to get him?
Yeah, true.
And Jalen Milroe is coming back for another year at the helm of the Crimson Tide.
That would surprise me, Coach. I mean, obviously he's made no announcement about that, but that would surprise me if Jalen Milroe is coming back for another year. And if he does come back, I don't think he'll be starting. How embarrassing would that be? 2-year starter hits the bench and he comes back. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one, Coach. That would surprise me. Is the quarterback from Stanford in the portal?
Yes.
I heard some connection that he may end up at Auburn.
I heard that
as
he may
well.
visit, and maybe he is visiting, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
And is Coach insinuating that Jackson Arnold came cheap?
And that Oklahoma is the equivalent of dirt cheap?
What other school? No, Barry, here's how I measure.
Okay.
What other schools were interested in Jackson Arnold? Who else wanted him?
Well, I know Mississippi State because his coordinator 2 years ago at Oklahoma is now the head coach at Mississippi State. As a matter of fact, a lot of people thought it was a done deal that he was going to Mississippi State, but maybe
Wow.
not so much.
Man, Mississippi State. Interesting.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the quarterback from Stanford, although they have got a Jill. Yeah, Ashton Daniels is the quarterback from Stanford. He's originally from a really, really good program at Buford, Georgia, Buford High School. But I know he's close by. If you look at on3.com, a week ago, they had Ashton Daniels as 100% going to transfer to Auburn. But he wouldn't count because he's already in the portal. Coach said there's somebody who's not already there.
How about it? There you have it.
And Chris Dammer said, Dear John, does John have any more input on the OBS 5-star? Has PM chimed in? I haven't read PM.
No.
But which 5-star?
Yeah. Which one are you talking about, Chris?
Which one of the two?
The number 14 rated QBR rating quarterback in the SEC or the high school phenom?
You're just going to hear. You're just going to hear that. You're going to hear that.
Well, I mean, I got to be able to differentiate them some way.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to, I guess, so yeah, we'll see, Chris, but I see you working there. Let's see what's up next on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Man, on a Monday, we're always got a lot happening. Man, look at that thing. Ooh, that thing is greased up today. All right, transfers. Who are the transfer winners so far? Maybe it's too young in the process. Is there a school out there that has maybe been a transfer winner and loser? I mean, we talked about Marshall, but their coach left. But has there been, as I've looked around, gone on the internet, whatever, nationally, is it too soon to maybe talk about some winners and losers in the transfer portal?
I think it's too soon. For instance, the one I always go to, there's a good one at auburnundercover.com. The one I go to just because it's easy to navigate is on3.com.
Yep.
And there I track the portal itself. It's too early to talk about the transfer portal rankings. They don't even have any rankings as of yet because it is really, really early.
Yeah. It is early, but just something to kind of think about.
Yeah.
Barry, Robbie's up. Robbie from Greenville is up. Before we
ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Yeah, here he is. Yep, he's firing them off. I'll go ahead and read them chronologically.
All right.
Very big win for Alabama basketball Saturday night. Nelson scored just 4 points and 10 rebounds. Next is Grant Nelson's homecoming game.
Yeah.
Bama has beaten Illinois, Houston, Rutgers, and North Carolina. Yep. Robbie also says there is no information on what Milroe is going to do next year. I've heard anywhere from first until fourth round.
Whoa.
Well, Robbie, coach said he's coming back.
Yeah, that's a big gap, Robbie.
Robbie says, tough day for the Steelers at the Eagles. Steelers take the loss. They're now 10-4. I hope TJ Watts' ankle is good to go Saturday at Baltimore for a huge AFC North showdown. That may be on the topic wheel, but that's going to be the best game next week in the NFL.
Yeah,
is going to be that one. It's going to be terrific.
All right, let's try to squeeze one more in maybe before the top of the hour on our Victoryland 777 topic wheel. If we have anything left over, we'll hold it over for tomorrow. And you did kind of hit it, Barry. You mentioned it. NFL Monday Night Football. We have a double header tonight. If you weren't paying attention, 2 NFL games tonight, which I don't have a problem with at all. The more, the merrier for me.
Here's the problem in the NFL right now, real quick. For the first time in NFL history, half of the playoff field is set with 3 weeks left to play in the regular season. Half of them are already in. They're going to be playing backups. They're going to be, going half speed.
Playing for seeding, home field advantage, things of that nature.
14 spots go into the playoffs. 14 teams make the playoffs. 7 of them have already been secured. The Chiefs, the Bills, and the Texans, and the Steelers, Robbie Steelers, are all in the playoffs.
What does that say about the division the Texans play in if they've already clinched a playoff spot?
At 9-5. It ain't like they've been, lighting it up. The Lions, the Eagles, and the Vikings have all clinched playoff berths as well. Monday Night Football tonight, it is a doubleheader. Well, I say a doubleheader. They both take place at the very same time, and I don't know why.
One kicked at 7.
Yep.
You got the early game at 7. The Bears and the
That's
Vikings.
Bears,
Falcons,
Vikings.
Raiders. 30 minutes later.
Yep.
At 7:30.
Bears, Vikings at 7 on ABC. Falcons, Raiders. If you're going to miss one, that's the one to miss. That will be at 7:30. That will be on ESPN. So there you go.
There you have it. All right, Barry, tomorrow we are broadcasting live from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree. We do it every year around the Christmas season, and we'll be there actually tomorrow and Wednesday, back-to-back days, getting you ready for Christmas and, of course, letting you in on all of the fabulous jewelry items there for you at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. So make your plans to come by and see us tomorrow morning while we're there, or sometime throughout the day or this week as we lead up to Santa's arrival.
Yes, we are looking forward to it. Looking forward to having you back with us again live on tomorrow's show between 7 and 9. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented